Hi, aloha, and welcome to my full moon energy report. The reason I was going to do an update on this is because there's a lot of tension surrounding the energy wave right now, and it's causing some friction with interpersonal relationships. And so there's this intense wave coming through. As a lot of you know, you probably have been having disrupted sleep patterns for the last, I don't know, few weeks or so. That is probably going to get a little bit better into next week. But there's something different going on with this the timing of this wave right now, where people who are surrounding those who are sensitive are becoming natural conduits to allowing this wave of energy to move through them. A lot of people are tuning into this wave. A lot of people are very sensitive to it, even if they're not sensitive people. But when those who surround you tune into the wave, if you're sensitive and they become a natural conduit, it goes through them, it taps into their deepest fears and worries, and then it comes out their mouth. And so, like I said, a lot of people are naturally tuning into this one. It's really affecting a huge part of the population on this particular energy wave. And it's really getting to the core of fears, worries, concerns that you personally have. And so when it's affecting all the people around you this way and they're not really aware of it, and instead they're just having anxieties, really bad anxieties, and they're starting to freak out a little bit and like get really upset or concerned or worried, but they don't know why. They're just feeling this high frequency energy, which then manifests into anxiety. And this wave is also um, forcing you to take a look at any deep seated junk that you need to get rid of. And this deep seated junk is fears or worries. So, for instance, if you're worried about a particular financial situation at work or a personal financial situation or something like that, it's not that particular situation that this wave is going to cause by intensifying. It's the deep seated part of that. So, that would be like financial instability, or how does your financial foundation feel? So if you're one of the people who are being really affected by this energy wave, this would be the time that you would want to not freak out about these little things that are really the tips of the iceberg, right? But with this wave, it's trying to energetically cleanse. It's trying to energetically cleanse deep seated blockages. And as it's really trying to move through your system and go, but we need to get the weeds out. We need to get the energetic weeds out now, right? So, in order to get the weeds out, what people have been doing is they've been kind of, putting things on top of the weeds, and the weeds keep growing back. But with this particular wave, this that's been going on for probably the better part of October, November into December, it's time to really get to the root of your fears and concerns and pull them out in that manner. And if you do that, you're going to find that there's going to be this beautiful grass growing over, this beautiful greenery that's healthy and just soft, and it's filled with opportunity. But for those who resist and are so scared to even try to pull the fear out by the root, or they're not paying attention and they're just really thinking it's a very surfacey anxiety, fear, or worry, those people who resist pulling it out by the roots, they're going to continue to have that weed infest other areas of their life, right? So this is a huge opportunity to get deep into energetic blocks, pull them out by the root, and then get rid of them altogether and move forward with a higher frequency that we're now moving into with 2020. So the whole frequency of the universal energy, the earth energy, and all that is going to be shifting in 2020. We're basically, it's kind of like, imagine turning up the radio a notch, turning it a little bit higher, turning up your air conditioner or heater a notch. We're turning the frequency up a notch. And so in order to really take advantage of this beautiful stuff that we can plant and cultivate at this point energetically, you have to take that out. So a lot of people are being affected by this, and a lot of people are people who are loved ones, their spouses, their kids, their parents, their family, co-workers. But if they're unaware of what's happening with this energy around them, it comes in, the fears are just become heightened, and then everything just comes out their mouth and it's focused towards you a lot of times. And that is something that is kind of hard to explain to somebody. It's kind of like, whoa, you kind of need to weed out your fears. That doesn't work very well. But at least if you're aware of it, you won't take it so personal. You won't really be focusing upon what did I do? I didn't do anything, and why is this being directed at me? It's okay for them to have fears, and it's good for you not to take it personal. It's something that maybe you might be able to help with if you're aware of what's happening right now with this energy wave, by sort of just being like, it's going to be okay, everything's going to be okay, and redirecting their focus off the tip of the iceberg, the very tip of what's making them freak out. And so you can actually be of help if you need to with the people who surround you, but you also don't want to take on all their stuff and take on everything personally either. So it's kind of like a nice balance. I would suggest that you first make sure that you're weeding out your fears and worries and concerns, because we're coming to the end of the weeding aspect of this wave. As we move towards the end of December, this is going to be coming to the end of that, and we're going to move into the opportunity phase more and more. It's the higher frequencies coming even more so than it is in December right now. So first, revisit if you have to do any weeding, then make sure that you're getting to the foundation of any fears or worries, and then allow that to be addressed and removed from your system energetically. And you can think about it as energy too. That's how I do things, is don't just think about these fears and worries as, okay, they're a stressor on my head. Literally imagine these energy blocks being then removed from your system. Imagine and feel good about it. Take a minute to go, you know what? I really am financially stable. I really do have super good opportunity. I've really set myself up well here. I've put all these plans in place. I've been proactive, and I know that there's really good manifestation and opportunity coming in 2020. So I've planted all the seeds, and I'm confident that I'm going to align with that new frequency energy. Make sure that you're in alignment with the new frequency first, then you can do things like categorize and not take on everybody else's stuff, maybe help calm them a little bit. And if you're close enough to them, you can go, you know what are you really concerned about? What's really happening here? There's something deeper here. What is it? Do you know what it is? So you could do that too if you're close enough to the people. This will continue to go on close to through the end of December, but there's some really cool stuff that will be happening all along the way. So it's not like you have to wait till January 2020 to see anything cool happen. Things are already manifesting. December's a manifesting month, but it's going to continue as the frequency raises. It's going to continue to gain power and momentum. Imagine it like kind of the snowball going down the hill, and it gains power and it gains size, and it's like getting all crazy, right? So imagine that. Now, I'm going to do something a little bit different because it's a full moon that I thought I would try and see, because I keep being asked to do this and I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure if you're going to like it, but we're going to do a card pull. And so I am not going to lay these down and do the whole camera changing thing because that's just too much. So here are the 3 cards that I want you to look at. This will be your right, middle, and left. I want you to go ahead and tune into a card and choose which one you're drawn to. And then I'm going to read you your message of where you're potentially needing a spirit guide message today. These are spirit guide cards. I pulled them as a spirit guide message today. So we're going to see what your spirit guide has to say to you. Okay? So you can choose your right, middle, or left. Okay. And then the interesting thing is these actually work together. So you might have chosen 2 cards, but this actually works together, and it works really well with the energy that's going on for a whole spirit guide message for you. But let's see what your particular guide had to say today. So if you chose the right one, we're going to do this one first. And this one is going to be to have faith in your dreams. And what's going on with this message today is that you're not trusting in the universe and the energy and the manifestation power that you have. You're not trusting that things are going to line out for you and work out okay in a positive direction. You're feeling more hesitant, worried, concerned, kind of unsure, and being like, well, how is that going to happen for me? I don't know. You're feeling, very unsure about how things are going to unfold for you. But the thing is, you don't have to have all the answers. You don't even need to know. And this is something that you need to remember if you chose this card, is there are things working out for you right now, and you're overlooking them. Number 1, that's the first thing, you're overlooking them. And number 2, you don't need to have all the answers. You need to have faith and trust that the universe is moving you in the right direction. So this is a card that indicates that your thoughts or what you've put into action, you're moving in the right direction, and you need to have faith that things are going to work out for you in that regard. Okay? Let's see. If you chose the middle card, this is what your guide has for you today. Work through your fears. This means your guide is explaining to you that you're struggling with some fears and worries that you're not getting over, and most likely these fears and worries are going to be ones that you're kind of creating a mountain out of a molehill, and they're causing you some energy blocks. You want to get rid of any fears or worries that you have at this point in time, because they seem to be unfounded, or you're making too big a deal out of them, or it's not something that you can't handle. So these seem to be surfacey fears that you're having. And so you're focusing too much of your energy on them. During this manifestation time, you're focusing too much energy on your fears. So your guide says to pull back from putting so much energetic focus on them. And then I would say to come back to have more faith, but you're causing yourself some energy blocks because of the fears and worries that don't seem to have a solid foundation to them. You're focusing too much energy here, so it needs to be redirected somewhere else. You need to figure out how to retrain your brain on whatever you're worrying about and move it in another direction. You need to preoccupy your brain at this point with something more positive, not this. Okay, and the last one, which would have been your left, will be conclusions are within reach. And so if you chose this card, your guide is explaining, and your guide's message to you is that there are some past things that are being tied up right now, or need to be tied up, or are going to be tied up. There's some past energy that it's time to let go of. You need to really clip the energetic cords. You need to do some energetic cord cutting, whether it's relationships or situations or whatever you've been hoarding energy with for a while regarding something in the past, a person in the past, or some type of situation in the past. So it's time to let that go, because the conclusions are coming regardless, but it would be good for you to make an energetic, clean break. It would be good for you to let go. And so the other thing that I would suggest you do if your guide has pulled this card for you is to actually sit there and close your eyes and imagine energetically taking either fire energetically or big scissors and imagining clipping this old energy away from you, a situation, a person, whatever. But you are hoarding on to some energy of the past that's no longer working for you. And if you haven't started letting it go, now would be the time to address that. You know what, I know that this has to go, but I've been holding on to it. I'm still holding on to it. I'm resistant to it. This is an indication that no, you cannot be resistant to it anymore if you want to propel forward, because all this energy of the past that you've hoarded onto, it served its purpose. It's time for it to go. So I hope that you enjoyed this card reading. This also, what I like about this is it tells a story. And I'm going to show you this really quickly. It tells a story with what's going on with this energy wave. Your individual card would tell you where you're kind of being stuck in this energy wave. So here, your individual card would be where you're having stuck energy, but here's the story. Here's the story for this this energy wave right now, is to really have faith in your dreams and what's happening, to really have faith in everything working out, to really move your focus in a more positive direction, then to work through your fears. We're weeding those out, right? And then letting go of the past energy and what's going on. So that actually is a very accurate card pull for this energy wave, just all on its own. But your particular one will be what's hanging you up. Okay? So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Comment below and let me know if you enjoyed the new energy thing that I did with the card pull. I'd love to hear it. And I try to comment back in the first 24 hours or so. I try to make myself available. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And you can do this right out the wave. It's going to be so awesome. Okay, until next time, have the most amazing day. Aloha.